everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. I'm working on the project Dress a Girl, and everybody's been asking me about the dresses that I've been making. So the pattern that I'm choosing to use is the McCall's 5797. It's a really quick layout and a really easy sew. So I've already got what I do when I'm cutting my patterns is I cut 2 dresses at a time. So let's get cutting. So now I've got my fabric laid out in its required amounts. Right now what you're seeing is 2 yards, but this pattern calls for 1.5 yards. So I've got the overage down here. When you get your McCall pattern, you're going to want to press it flat, follow the back of your pattern, and for this one in particular, it's calling for piece 1, 2, 3, and 4 is the pocket. I'm not going to be cutting out piece number 3 because I'm going to be using the bias, and I'll be showing you that section here in a moment. But right now, it's really important that when you do this pattern, that you're pinning at all your intersections and really securing your pattern. That way there's no slipping or moving as you cut it out. You get it lined up. It says your back of the pattern, you're going to want to get it right on the fold. If you listen to everything that you're being told, this is a really simple, easy sew for this dress. I don't overpin, I'm just pinning at the corners because I've done so many of these dresses now, it's coming natural. Depending upon the size that you want your dress to be, this pattern goes from a size 2 to a 12. You can't go wrong with that. I'm choosing to do this dress, this go around in a size 12 because there's a big demand for the larger size dresses. So let me get these last couple pins in, make sure I'm lined up directly where I need to be. And I like these pins a lot because they hold really tight and really snug. So I've got the front of the dress, the back of the dress, and each piece is marked. I don't need a pocket for this dress, but this pattern, I will use this print to make another pocket for another dress. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the pocket because the pockets are really interchangeable when you're doing these dresses. And by all means, I'm not a seamstress, but the way that I have learned to do this, it's really simple. And these girls are going to love these dresses. Using my sharpest scissors that I have, and I'm going straight up, and you're just going to follow the pattern. You're not going to have to be exactly perfect, but as close as you can get to the pattern without cutting it. Now this section here for the pocket, I am just going to cut it like this because I'm going to trim this in. So I'm going to lay this right on top of my machine so it's out of the way. Now I'm going to come up this side, and this is all there is to cutting this dress out. You've got your 4 pieces. Like I said, I'm only cutting 3 because I'm using the bias tape, but I'm going to show you, if you don't have the bias tape, what you're going to need to do, because I've already got a couple made, and that's going to be your ties for the dress. You're going to want to make sure that you're trimming this in as close as you can to the pattern without cutting it. Now right here, you're going to want to be careful because this is where your shoulders are going to be for these dresses. It does not have to be perfect because it's all going to be hidden when we put this bias tape on. So if you're a wee little tiny bit off, it's not going to be seen ever again. I'll slide that over there out of the way and straight up, and you're just going to cut out. The same as you did the back, you're going to do the front the exact same way. The fabric that I do have left for this, I am setting it aside because when I do the So Powerful purses, there is adequate amount of fabric left that I'll be doing the leftover into the So Powerful purse. So this is done. I'm going to flip it over. And where I have the overage right here, I'm just going to trim that off right now so that I don't have to worry about coming back to do it. And that's how simple this dress is to cut out. In the pocket, you're just going to cut it out, just like you're seeing me do here. You're just going to want to trim it in. It's pinned at the fold, and that's really important that you do it on the fold. You can also use a rotary cutter. I prefer to just hold it and cut it. I'm getting just as accurate of a cut. Now, if I was doing this section here, it's for the strap. I would just lay it here and get that cut out. What you'll end up doing is just what I'm going to show you here is you'll fold it in on itself, fold it in on itself, press it down, and sew up both sides. I'm choosing to use the bias tape, and that's going to make it so much easier when I'm sewing this together, and it streamlines my process. So let's get busy sewing. Anytime that I'm cutting out my fabric selections, I also number them. Like the strap would be number 3, the pockets would be number 4. So where you see me cutting out extra pockets, I just hang them and they'll go as an accent for a different styled dress. So I'm going to set these aside for this one, and I'll show you that magic in a moment. But for right now, we're going to do the little bit of folding down right here at the top. And you're going to fold down 1/4 of an inch, and you're just going to eyeball it for 1/4 of an inch. And this is just closing this up. And give it a little tiny bit of heat, love. Because this, in the end, is going to be the opening of where your dress is going to be. Then you're going to fold it down. And I like to eyeball it to be about 1 inch. And I just give it a little bit of heat right here as well. And then I'm going to put a couple pins in just to hold it in place until I get ready to sew it. I never get rid of this center seam, and you'll see why. So please don't press that out. It's really important that you keep that for now. And we're going to do this again one more time. You've got your front of the dress and the back of the dress, and we're going to repeat the same process. We're going to fold it down and give it a little bit of heat, love. And you're just doing like 1/4 of an inch. You're going to come back and you're going to repeat the same process, but you're going to give yourself an eyeball of like about 1 inch. And when these straps are in, this is going to give you a nice pucker to the dress that's going to gather all of that goodness up and look so pretty for the girls. So I'm just giving it a real quick pin for just a second. So pretty much I'm done with the iron because that was the only place I needed to iron. So I'm going to move this out of my way, and I'll just slide it back here till it cools. So now I'm going to bring this over, and I'm going to give it right here on this side. I'm going to come up on my presser foot, and I'm just going to tack this in. You're going to back tack here because there is going to be a little bit of pressure as the girls put their dresses on. So back tack just a little bit and start to pull your pins. Like I said, this comes together really fast now. The hardest part of this dress was pressing out the pattern and finding all 4 pieces that you need. Hardest part totally. Pull your pins and back tack here. I went with the darker thread so you're going to be able to see what I've done here. And this will really look cute with the dress. And always trim your threads. Now I'm going to lay this one aside for just a minute, and I'm going to do this one. That way you're doing them in order, and it's just going to come together really easy for you. Back tack it. And straight down. And what little girl doesn't want a really pretty dress? Back tack. Same process. Snip it, and then just trim your threads on both ends. They're going to be lost in the seam, but you just want to kind of make sure that they are. This is the back of the dress, because that was the second piece I picked up. And I'm going to lay them like this for just a second. I've chose to use the bias, and this is going to go along the hem and under the arms. There is more than enough, because on this you get 3 full yards, and I won't use it all, but I'll be able to use it for another dress down the road. I just think with the pocket that I'm going to put on, this one's going to kind of showcase it a little bit. So now I'm going to take where the shoulder is, and I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to bring it right in right here. And you're going to bring it down. I want that needle down as I'm doing this. This has a lot of stretch to it. And this will almost come totally straight for you. So just bring it as straight as you can and just bring it straight down. You can put this in before you put your hem in at the top or not. It's up to you. This seems to work really well for me this way. So this is just the way that I've been doing it, and it looks fabulous in the end. And snip it off. Snip your strings on both sides. We don't want to be giving little girls dresses that have strings hanging all over them. And we're going to come over on this side and repeat the same process. And you're going to do this on all the armholes. And just hold it down for just a second till you get it under there. And drop it. My needle's down. And I'm going to pull it nice and snug, so it's almost straight. After you do a couple of these dresses, this is going to come so easy. Raise it, pull it out, and snip it off. That's simple. I shouldn't be using my snips, but it's what I got handy right now. All the little strings, I want to make sure that they're off. I don't want to have to come back through and give it a look-see. So that section's done, and I'm going to repeat the same thing on this side. Open it up. I'm going to show it all the way through because I want to make sure that you understand how to do this. Slide it up, back tack it in. I just guide my nail under and just lay this down flat. And we all have extra fabric in our stash that we can whip out a dress and change the life of one of these girls. And I just think, whether you think you can make one or not, these are simple. Trust me, by all means, I'm not a seamstress, not a dressmaker, but these come together really nice, and I just love the idea that we can give back. And how darling are these dresses going to be? And like I said, I purposely used a darker thread. Normally I would have matched the thread, but I want you to be able to see what we're doing here. And it'll still look nice. Snip this off. Snip these little threads that are up here because we don't want them showing. And in the end, they're not going to show, and you're going to be surprised. So this is the front of the dress, and this is the back of the dress. You're going to lay these side by side, and you're going to match your top, just like this. And what I like to do is just put a pin dead center, so I know I've got it lined up right. And I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom. And I'm going to pin this one up out of my way for just a second, because this is going to come together extremely fast. This little bit is going to flip the dress, and we're going to do the same thing that we did for the arms to dress the hem up. And you're going to bring it over and slide it under. You do not have to backtack because this is going to be lost a little bit when we do the French seam. And you're just going to, all those loose little threads are going to magically disappear. And you're just going to feed this all the way through. Stop and cut it off one more time. Make sure you're snipping it. This one's done. So you're going to flip it under. And now you have this one. And you're going to repeat the same process one more time. Make sure it's tucked in really well for when you start. You can pin if you choose to, but once you get it started, you don't need to. All you need to do is remember, tuck it in. And make sure that you're keeping it as straight as you can. You can honestly, once this dress is cut out, you can put a dress together in probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes if you're taking your time. I streamline mine, so on a day I have nothing to do, I just go ahead. One day I might make pockets, one day I might make the straps, one day I'll get all the shoulders in, one day the hems, then I can just whip a bunch of dresses out at once. But it's all up to however you want to do it. I've seen a lot of the ladies, we just streamline them, that way we're getting multiple dresses out. Lift it up and just snip it off one more time. Now your hem of your dress is done. And this is what you have left. And it's more than enough to do the shoulder placements on another dress. So I've got my front of my dress where I have my pin. And there's a reason for that. I've raised it up about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. And I want to figure out where I want my pocket and what kind of pocket do I want on it. This one in particular, I think it would kind of be cute to pull some of the purples out of this one in. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a crazy pocket. I think that'll dress it up a bit and look kind of cute. The little girls love pizzazz and a little bit of style. And I've already pre-made my pocket, and all you do is, I have some cut out here I have not done, is this is the way they're cut out. you're just going to flip it inside out. And you're going to sew all the way around. And you're going to leave a little space open that you're going to be able to flip your pocket. You can choose to put your project Dress a Girl label. It's their little tag. And this is one little tag that means the world to these little girls. This little tag alerts predators that these little girls are off limits. You leave these little girls alone. They know that there's people watching out for the little girls. So they do ask that the label or the tag, whatever you would like to call it, goes on the pocket. Every dress that I'm doing, it's going on the left pocket. And it's just what I'm doing with mine. Some dresses I'm doing has 2 pockets, some have 1. In the description box, you're going to see a link that you can go online and order yourself the Project Dress a Girl labels. It's $6 for 50 labels, $12 for 100 labels. So if you and a bunch of your friends choose to get together and make these dresses, how cool would it be that you've already got the labels ready to go? So the reason I kept this seam in right here is it's going to tell me exactly where I want this pocket to go. So I purposely did not iron this. I'm eyeballing. I definitely have to be 4 inches over from the side of the dress. I need to be where the center of my dress is, down 1 inch, and you can eyeball it, and you're going to come in here 3 inches. That is your perimeter where you want this pocket to be. It's not going to be too high up on the dress, and it's not going to be too low. I do choose to pin my pocket when I'm sewing it in, so I just eyeball where I want the pocket to go, line it up one final time, and I just give it a quick pin. And now all I'm going to do is fold this back under, and I'm going to zip my pocket in. You've already got your label on, and at the top of the pocket, you are going to want to back tack that in. The girls are going to be using this pocket quite a bit. This pocket style has a dual pocket. It's going to be one that'll go in behind the pocket and one that has the enclosed pocket. I like doing them this way so the girls have that extra little, they want to hide a little something personal. It's out of sight. You're going to go 1/4 of an inch. You can zigzag, you can dress it up however you choose to. I'm just doing a simple straight stitch, 1/4 of an inch, all the way around the pocket and getting it tacked in. I think the older girls might have personals that they kind of want to stick in their pocket out of sight if they don't have a handbag or one of the crossbody bags. So that's why I'm doing one pocket on this dress and I'm back tacking it in really heavy. We don't know the needs of these little ladies, but I can tell you at all ages, they all need a little place to put something personal, whether it be whatever their need. So this is now tacked in, and I'll show you how it's got a dual pocket. The pocket has been made, and it's right here like this. Right behind it is where they can stick like their girly stuff, if you know what I'm saying. It can go down in here, out of sight, out of mind, and no one's going to be able to see what's in that little slot. Then if they've got just walking along and wanting to stick their hand in their pocket, they've got that space too. So now we've got the dresses all lined up. I'm going to take out this little pin that I had there. My sides are matching. I'm going to trim off these little seams, and you're going to think I done lost my mind here, but trust me, this works fabulous every time. We're going to do a French seam. You're going to come straight down both sides. You're going to match your top, and you're going to match your bottom. You're just going to wiggle them in place to make sure that they line up. And if you've did everything right so far, they should have no problem lining up. You're going to go a scant 1/4 inch right here, and you're going to back tack it. It's really important. And you're just going to come straight down this seam. And then you're going to see where the magic happens. It's unbelievable. I had never done a French seam, and I thought, what in the world am I getting myself into? Once I did it, it's magic. You're going to come over to the other side of the dress, and you're going to pinch right here, and they line up just perfect. And you're going to lay it down, and you're going to do the same thing on this side. Scant 1/4 inch one more time. And just make sure the easiest way is I'm lining up where my creases are too. And it really helps to get this in. And I'm keeping one finger under my fabric, so if it needs to be pulled a little bit snugger or a little bit looser, it's all lining up. And right here I've got lined up right here. And I'm just going to pull it taut and let the machine make the magic happen. There's not a whole lot for you to do but feed it through. Back tack it. Now this is going to get cute. Going to turn it inside out. And hence comes the French seam. You're going to take your hand, and where that seam was, you're just going to press it with your fingers. You can use an iron and lay a little bit of heat love to it. But if you went a scant 1/4 inch and you tuck this seam up in there, this is going to come together without a hitch. Got a little string there. So now we're going to make the French seam happen. You're going to line it up on your machine one more time. And I take the side of my foot and line it up. Where my finger is right here, I'm feeling where that seam is, and I'm just gently going to push this up through. And I'm going to back tack it right there because there's going to be a little bit of pressure with these little girls. And I'm just going to come straight down. And this is your French seam. You're enclosing all those seams. So the little girls, as they're washing these dresses out by hand and wearing them for days upon days on end, there's not going to be any open seams for these little ladies to worry about. And that seam is closed, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Like I said, this dress comes together really easy, and you're just going to take your fingers and run it up that seam. It doesn't matter which side, top or bottom, wherever you want to start. You're going to be able to finger and feel where that seam is and just come over just a little dab. And this is going to hide and encase that seam and give this dress more stability. And I'm going to take my fingers down in here. And you can pin. There's no need, honestly, because you can feel it with your fingers. And just press it up in. Back tack it when it comes to it. There you go. Now all your sewing's done. For all intents and purposes, other than a real quick tack here and there that we're going to be doing. Turn your dress right side out. You're going to check both sides. And as you can see, it's all encased. There's no open seams for these little girls to be worried about or fooling with. Double check to make sure all of your strings are snipped off. And you're going to check the other side of the dress as well. Going down, I have one string shown right here that I don't want out. And then now I'm going to make some magic happen with you. Let me see. I want to make this really cute for these girls. So I'm going to use these straps. I think that'll dress it up just a little bit more. So I'm going to use the straps. You don't have to. But I thought, boy, how cute will that be? Just to show you, these are usable if you choose to cut them. I have my purple thingamajig, and all you do is shoot a little piece in. and pull it through. Now that it's through my purple thingamajig, I'm going to take it and I'm going to line it up straight through here. I think I want to do yellow. Hold on. I'm going to change plans real quick. I think that yellow that I had will look pretty with this pocket. So let me find my yellow. I think that'll look really cute. So you're going to cut 2 pieces. That way I'm sure I'm showing you everything. These need to be 34 inches. And this is going to be your straps for your shoulders for the little girls. So you're going to double it up. And you're going to go 34 inches. And you're going to snip it off. I knew if I didn't show you this step, I would be cheating you out a little bit. So now we're going to close up the one side. So where it's open here, you're going to go one straight seam down the open side of this. What I like to do is I take and put my finger here, and it's just a guide. And you can go as fast as you want or as slow as you want. You're only closing up one side. If you want to dress it up, you can come back up the other side. So you're going to have basically 34 inches for each, one for the front and one for the back, and then you'll see how these come together. So you're going to take this strap and you're going to cut it in half because we've already measured for your 34. You're going to just snip it off right in half. Take your purple thingamajig one more time and just slide this straight through. Don't do as I do, you'll lose your teeth. And then just slide this straight through this little hole. It's the opening. And you're just going to feel and run your purple thingamajig all the way up through. Give it a little wiggle, because once it gets started, it'll go really easy for you. And just feed it straight through. Fold it over and repeat one more time. Feed it through. And this purple thingamajig, best invention they ever made. Before that, it was safety pins. And I'm telling you right now, this works better than safety pins, but you can still, if you don't have one of these, safety pins will do it. And it'll pull straight through. Easy peasy. Your ties are now in. So what you're going to want to do is lay them flat and make sure that you got equal amounts on both sides. As you can see, I don't, so I'm going to line them up, keep pulling until I get them about right. And surely to goodness, they don't look long enough, do they? But you're going to watch. We're going to put a seam here and a seam here. And you're just going to honestly back tack this in. What you're doing is securing this so when the little girls are wearing it and they're pulling on their strings, that this is not going to come out from where you have it hooked. Really easy. And all you're going to do is snip all those loose threads, because no little girl wants threads hanging off of her dress. Pull this side up, make sure you've got all the loose threads. And then now the fun. You're going to put your puckers in your dress. You're just going to take and hold this string in your right hand, and you're going to start to make the gatherings. That's going to make this dress come together so stinking cute. And you're going to tack it in right there, because we don't want this to come out from where we're tacking it. Pop it out. And you're going to do the same thing on the back. Pull it snug to where you think it's going to look really cute on these little girls. And then we're going to adjust these in a minute. I just want to make sure I've got all these loose little strings. Now we're going to flip it over and repeat one last time. You're just going to gather. Right about there. Snip it, and one more time. Then all we have to do is tie the dress in. Voila! You have now officially, when this is done, made yourself a dress for Project Dress a Girl. In no time at all. From cutting it out, ironing your pattern, the whole 9 yards. What I like to do though is these little ends. I'm not a fan of the ends, so I just wiggle and maneuver and put a little knot in up here at the top. That's going to secure them so that they don't come out and they don't fray on the little ones. So just play with it a little bit so it all comes in. You're going to do that on all 4 of them. Just a little fancy knot. It helps dress it up, but there's a reason for doing it. And do it one more time. Like I said, you have enough of the bias to do it however you would choose. Now you've got your dress made. And all you're going to do is put your little tie here for the little girl. And dress is made. I went with pretty bright and bold colors for you, just so that I could demonstrate the making of this dress. And I'll show you a couple other dresses that we've made, so that you know they're not all crazy and wild. And I do go back through and double check all for threads. But isn't that not cute? And some little girl is just going to love this dress. So this is a size 12 dress per the pattern. And when I send these to the ambassador for my area, she will definitely be thankful and blessed, because they're all going to be labeled. They're already going to have the pockets on them, and they're already going to be numbered with what size. I went to a little retreat and had everything cut out, and lo and behold, the people that attended with me got busy and we got to sewing. And we spent about an hour and a half and made 12 dresses between 5 of us. And they're really cute. This is where you can mix, match your patterns. You can take the extra and make a little fancy bottom. Whatever you choose to do. The sky's the limits. No matter what you do with these little dresses, these little ladies are going to love them. So thank you guys for tuning in today. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And I'll be sure to check, or you can email them to me at Donna@handmadebyying.com. Thanks again. And this is a fun, easy pattern. It's McCall's 5797. 4 simple pieces turns fabric into a dress. How cool is that? Take care, God bless, and happy sewing.